So I got a little something in the mail to try to make an old phone charge like a newer phone. A Qi charging pad. To make this faithful LG G3 that I have Lineage OS flashed on to charge a little more conveniently as I run apps on it that I don't want on my daily driver. So we got the foreman over to the left over there, making sure that we enforce strict quality control. And here's the old faithful G3, and we're going to do some test fitting of this Qi pad, and it checks out with her. So just going to mess around and show that it's a micro SD with the right upwards and downwards orientation to make this work out. But it's a little too long. Problem I seem to never have otherwise. So I'm still going to mess around and pop it in there. And you're going to see that that NFC coil that's built into that back panel is going to be a problem. So because of the length issue, just going to throw it on to this other old phone that the cohabitant uses, pretty much for the same reason why I keep my old phone. Some old apps, stuff that you don't want on your daily driver. So fast forward, ordered what promised to be a shorter QI charging pad that even had G3 listed on the listing, but it still turned out to be a little bit too long. But we're gonna fix that in a few seconds here. So what's in the big box? Another one. I think it cost a little bit less than you get what you pay for. You're gonna see in the back later on that it's rated for just a little bit less flow, but on these old phones, plus the use case, it's just fine. And nope, you're not going to see the rest of it in that box unless you subscribe and see the other reviews coming along on the channel. So shutting it down, and we're going to do a quick measurement. It's already looking better, but not great. Still interferes a little bit with that button. But I'm going to pull it apart and test out the idea that it can fit underneath the that plastic back panel. And it's not going to focus, so I'm going to throw some pictures in here of the first model that I bought here, and then here's the second model that I bought, and a little size difference there. I think that the Nilkin's a little bit better, honestly, but they both worked pretty good at the end of this. I don't have any like empirical data of before and after. I wasn't going to go to that extent, but I can say that it seems to charge as fast as when it's plugged into the wall. Again, these are pretty old phones. They don't have fast charging to begin with. So back to the phone. You're going to see that little bit of interference, and I try to just fold it over or some such thing. But what happens is when you go to put the back panel on and you're trying to cinch it, it just pushes the connection out. And I thought that was the problem I was having when later on I took it over to the Qi charger that was gifted to me. The whole reason why I even went down this path. And there's no charging. And I thought maybe it's because the connector's getting pulled out a little bit, pushed out rather. But come to find out later, it's simply the NFC coil that's built into this back panel. It's just running some interference. It won't let it charge. So gonna play around a little bit and realize that it's not that expensive. Let's go ahead and cut it up a little bit. And here's where in the comments you're gonna see, oh, you ruined it, this, that, and a third. But not cutting through any of the coils. It didn't even open up into the pouch, so to speak, and now it fits a lot better. So just gonna trim a little bit more, and again, it's far off from the coils, and it's gonna fit perfectly. And I'm gonna throw the back on there. But again, I'm going to run into that issue where the NFC is just playing too much interference. It's basically working maybe like a kind of like magnetic shielding, I assume, but it's not truly a magnetic shield, but it is interrupting the Qi wireless protocol just enough. So I decided to put the coil externally and put this old thick boy case back onto it. Really nice thick rubber case that has even an outer layer, hard layer. So it was charging with the rubber thick layer on. Throw on the thick, well, the thin hard layer, but it makes an overall really thick package. And you can see it still gets recognized and it's charging. So definitely the NFC coil at play here. So I'll just leave the case on. It's probably good practice anyways as the phone's getting older and older. And I've already had to put it in the oven and do the old GPU mod to kind of reseat some solders. So just gonna leave it on and rock on with this wireless charging. And again, please subscribe and give a like and see what comes next on the channel. Lots more things to review. Thanks. Bye.